I want to talk to you about some tech tools for ministry, and these are just some basic things that perhaps they'll be a blessing to you. So for 10 minutes, I'm going to share a few insights with you about computer technology that just might become useful to your ministry. I hope it will. Now, I love following technology trends, and I love playing with these tools. I also like buying new stuff. I definitely have a problem there. So when I can use these tools to tell people about Jesus, wow, that is just a super win-win for me. And so I want to talk to you about computers a little bit. And, you can get a Windows, you can get an Apple, you can get an Android computer. These are, any of these platforms are fantastic. You just have to go with what you like. Now, I've noticed that the form of desktop, laptop, tablet, smartphone, it goes from large to small. Okay, so your desktop is pretty powerful, and usually you can buy a nice big screen, and screens are not expensive anymore. And you can do a lot more in terms of content creation with a desktop than you can with a smartphone. You can make videos and things with your smartphone, and you can do it with a tablet, and it's possible, but you have more flexibility, more control, and if you do it on a desktop or a laptop. And so I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, if you're going to do one thing that this year in terms of buying a new tech toy, I would encourage you to get a good USB microphone, because you can't go wrong with this. This one right here with the big star on it is one I highly recommend. It's made by Rode. It's only $100, and it's a very good quality. But just about any USB microphone is going to be great for you. And a USB microphone is made to plug into your desktop or your laptop, and you can even plug it into a tablet or a phone too. But the great thing about a USB microphone is that it improves your sound. Another thing that I would like to consider, invite you to consider doing, is paying a little bit more money for faster internet service. I see this over and over again a lot of times, that people are on a Zoom meeting and they have really a narrow bandwidth, and you can't hear them, and you can't hardly see them, and they can hardly connect. Sometimes they have to get in their car and use their phone, and it's just a hassle. That's okay if you're going to be a participant in a Zoom meeting, but if you're the host, oh my goodness, you need a decent bandwidth in order to do a good job. And if you want to do this with excellence, just spend a little bit more money and use your money to buy a little bit more bandwidth, and a lot of your problems will go away, because that's just the way this works. Comcast in the United States of America is the #1 internet provider, and because they use cable, they are able to give you bandwidth that is pretty broad, and it's not exactly cheap, but it's what I'm using right now. Okay, I want to show you this picture of the world with a bunch of satellites around it. Starlink is a satellite company that is building a constellation by SpaceX, and Elon, and they're going to provide satellite internet access. And did you know that this is set to begin operations in 2020? That's this year, dear ones. And so I'm very excited about this, because it's going to bring the cost of internet down for everybody, and especially for people in remote locations. This is going to be a great improvement. All right, here's another thing I would like to encourage you to consider. Consider retiring your old router with a set of mesh routers. And a mesh router, Well, mesh routers came out in 2016. That was just what, 4 years ago? And nobody ever heard of mesh routers before 4 years ago. And basically, it's one router, but it has satellites, and it connects up with other its brothers and sisters, and usually has three bands: the high band, the low band, and then a special band that you can't use that is just between the devices. Oh my goodness, when I got a mesh router in my house, I could get internet in the backyard, I can get internet out front, I can get internet upstairs, I can get internet downstairs. I got wonderful internet. It really improved everything. And so this year, and that was back in 2016 when I did that. This year in 2020, I our router died at Asbury Church, and I was really happy about that because, oh, good, I get to buy a new router for this church. And so, we got mesh routers, and suddenly now we have Wi-Fi in the sanctuary, Wi-Fi in Collins Hall, Wi-Fi in the Sunday school. We have Wi-Fi in the middle of the parking lot. Oh my gosh, that was a super big improvement. And I just want to encourage you to consider buying a mesh router. There's a lot of different companies that make these, and some are better than others, and you have to do your research. And it does cost a bit more, maybe twice as much as the regular router, but a regular router costs about $100, and a mesh router will cost about $250 to $300. All right, I want to give you a tip on how you can buy a Zoom Pro for just $65 from TechSoup. This used to be a United Methodist feature that they had a company called Tech Shop with one of our major boards and agencies. I think it was United Methodist Communications, but they kind of outsourced that to another company called TechSoup, and they cater to churches and Elia Mawson area organizations. So TechSoup is a great thing, and all you have to do is look it up, like Google it for TechSoup, and then Google Zoom Pro, and it's only $65 where it would cost $100. I paid $150 for my Pro, and so but I'm just telling people that there's a great bargain there. All right, I'd like to encourage you to consider putting your sermons on YouTube, because not only during the pandemic, but also going forward, people are going to want to be able to communicate with you, because this is just where our culture is going. Did you know that over half of all the video content in the world today is viewed on mobile, and that includes television? Okay, so here in 2020, the world is different. People are not only cutting the cord, but there's a revolution in terms of communications, and especially in video. And more people watch their videos on mobile, and I'm talking about tablets and smartphones, than any other device, and that's including television sets. Also, 5 billion videos are watched on YouTube every single day. And this is head and shoulders above every other provider. You might think that, oh, well, more people visit Facebook. Well, that's not true. Facebook shows about 5 million videos every day. That's more than I could produce, I'm sure. But like 5 billion? Oh my goodness. YouTube has the lion's share of this way of sharing things. So what I do, I put my my sermons in a video format, and I put them on YouTube, and I also put them on Facebook. So this is a great way to share this content with my people. All right, so you might ask the question, well, how do I create video content? Like, what kind of tools do I need? Well, you need a camera, and that could be, a digital single lens reflex, or it could be a mirrorless camera, or it could be a smartphone. The smartphones that they make today are just as good as the big old fancy cameras of yesteryear. It's just amazing how far they've come. So that's a real possibility. I'm showing you a couple pictures here of microphones that are connected to the camera. If you use a camera, do not use the built-in microphone because it's awful. All right. You have to buy some kind of microphone to plug into your camera, and that's kind of specialized. So you can use a wireless mic. Rode makes nice ones. Or you can use a little shotgun mic on the top of your DSLR. Uh, there's a lot of options there. But just as long as you use some kind of microphone, and then you need a video editing software. There's lots of different ones out there. Some are free and some cost you a little bit of money. But if you're going to be doing this on a weekly basis going forward, it's worth it to spend a little bit of money. And the last thing, and I'm just about done, that I want to tell you is that Zoom is a great way to record your sermons. And I know that that might be a little bit unexpected to you, but let me stop share here. All right. So Zoom is an amazing way to share your video content because all you have to do is just go over to the bottom of your screen and hit record, and you can record sound and video together. And then when you leave or close the meeting off, it records it to your computer, and you can use your editing software to work with that. And so really, Zoom has given us not only a great way to communicate with each other, but also a great way to record our sermons. And I do this every Sunday and have for a long, long time. I've been using Zoom to record my sermons and to put on YouTube. So that's my 10 minutes. I don't know if it actually lasted 10 minutes.